So hey, let's get into this. Let them know who you are. Tell them some stuff. Get into everything with the what eventually led you up to prison.
Yeah. No, my name's Calvin Steinmark. Um, so pretty much what led me up to prison. Um, it didn't start till a little later on in life, but like I was probably about 16 years old. I started selling drugs. I started selling weed. That led to me selling cocaine, ecstasy. So by the time I was like 17, I had my own house. We had kegers. Everybody would come over. I was selling, and I'm from a college town, Kearney, Nebraska. So like we had a lot of college students coming over. So like I was selling, maybe 50, 60 every week, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, so I was selling like a lot of ecstasy, coke. eh, 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 Nobody else, like when you're 16, 17, like these, and people start to look up to you. So like, like
A little
it
bit.
just, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now.
No,
Damn.
I can't.
You good? Hold on. I hit
So,
the.
anyways, I like by the time I'm 17, I have a brand new Yukon on 24s, and we're talking about '07, right?
Yeah.
So I felt like I was somebody. I start telling everybody what's going on, like it was dumb. So it didn't take long. By the time I'm 18, they had like this whole sting operation where they had 25 of us, where they basically someone wore a wire on me for selling cocaine and ecstasy, and I lived a block away from a school zone.
Damn.
Um, yeah, so those charges were class one felonies just because of that. Um, so I get caught up by the time I'm 18. I go to prison at the age of 18, and I get 5 to 17 years for distribution of cocaine, distribution of marijuana, distribution of a counterfeit hazard drug, which just came out of nowhere. Um, Basically, when I was sitting in there, they basically added another charge, said like I had some fake cocaine, and it counts as a real cocaine charge. So
Ab the way it tested. Ab or something was in it. Chemical research. Chemical probably. Oh.
I don't know because it was crazy. So,
What's
anyways, they give me 5 to 17 years. I go to the Nebraska State Pen,
okay?
and I did 7 years in there. And I'll tell my story about my prison sentence.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, say what's up. Let's say what's up to these couple people coming in right now.
We got some people coming in. Hey, what's up?
Or as I'm just a girl, Jonathan 10, just saying what's up. But yeah, go ahead. Every
Hey, Zoobstar says, "Can you do me a favor? What's your favor?"
Batty Pookie.
Batty Pookie WSG. What's WSG?
Sometimes
Hello, Batty Pookie.
or what's going on. It means a couple things. But yeah, but periodically we'll just look at the comments. But
Yeah.
all right, so look, so you end up in the pen. You're 18. Was you scared, bro? Be honest. Was that shit? Was you?
I what? No, no, no. For real, I was a little scared. I didn't know what to expect. But the only thing that helped me, I had a cousin that was in the Serranos gang, right?
Okay.
So when I come out on the yard, you know how like you talk about you had a fight when you show up, right? Okay. So what's it called for you? Like when I went to prison, first I had to go through a process called D&E, and that's where they kind of figure out where you're gonna go.
Ride in row, bro. You get on ride in row, and you're there with everybody else, about 30 ride-ins, and the whole block is on one side, and the ride-ins are on one side. So you're like, it's like blood in the water, bro. They're all over there plotting.
Yeah. So I come in the door there, right? I come in the door there, and they're like, "Oh, fresh fish, fresh fish." And I had to prove myself. So I fight this guy, but he bit me. He tried to choke me out. He tried to choke me out. So I put my hand like naturally. I try to grab him, right, and he bites my thumb and bit through my thumb. But I knocked his ass out and just started pounding on him, and they came and sprayed me with mace. But anyway, so like I was worried that dude had TB. Luckily, I didn't get it.
Damn.
But but
Yeah, that shit.
yeah, he had TB. The Mexican dude. Yeah.
So you,
Anyways,
so
um, that was part of my that experience. But then I ended up going to they figure out where you're gonna go. I go to the Nebraska State Pen. Um, but other than that, that was probably the worst thing that happened to me there. Otherwise, it was just I was there for 6 months. This is no big deal.
Waiting to ride out. Ours is called Lorraine. You sit
Okay.
at that,
Ours
but
is called D&E. They just call it D&E.
yeah, classification.
Yeah.
Okay, so ride out. What level was you? How does the explain how the level system works where you're from?
All right. So, so I hear other people have number system, but we have medium, max, minimum, medium, max. So I went to a maximum security prison.
Damn, right off the
Yeah.
rip.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I went to a max security prison, Nebraska State Pen. They have a Omaha State Pen, like what's minimum, and they have Tecumseh, which is more of like all lifers. But I went to a max security penitentiary. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, where I'm from in Ohio, we gotta earn that shit. Like you usually start out as a two. If you ain't got nothing crazy, you're a one. But if it's average charges, it's a two. You get in some shit, you go to a level three. That's close security, and then four. So you gotta earn it. If you act dumb and get in trouble, you start going to the. You know what I mean?
Yep. Same with where I'm from, but it's just medium, minimum, max.
So
So I started out in a maximum security prison.
you're in the some of these comments are crazy, bro. But I want to be able to read them. We'll shout them out and do some of that here in a minute. But I want to get into this story. So like, pretty much you got
Someone
caught.
says 6 months in max, you tweaking. No, man, I wasn't in 6 months in max. That was the processing. No, I did 7 years in max.
So you did do 7 years. Is how long you did?
Yep.
Yeah, I did years 9 months. That shit was fuck, man. So you tell them how long you been home for. That's a grip.
11 years, man.
11 years. But you said you've had some minor shit happen since then. You just ain't never went back.
Someone says you got a list, cuz. Yeah, maybe.
But look, you ain't never been back to the joint, right? You just more or less got some misdemeanors since then, some petty shit, or you don't got to go all into it. But I'm just
No,
curious.
I've had some more serious charges, but I've never been back. No, never back to the joint. Just jail time. I've got a terroristic threat to kill somebody, uh other stuff.
Hey, so if you want to get into it, talk about what happened with the car situation with that girl if you want to. Don't
Oh
talk.
yeah. So that's my wife now.
Oh shit!
Uh we're going through a divorce right now, but that happened way after I was out of prison, man. Like I had already went through a whole nother
How long has it been?
since the accident,
Yeah, yeah.
5 years.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when I just so you know, it usually takes like 10 minutes for people to even start coming in. But I haven't been on here for a while. We really ain't worried about YouTube with this exact live is to get viewers. What I'm actually trying to do is get this interview going so that we can have the recording and post it on other platforms because I'm
Yeah.
gonna download Zoom in the future. But this is my first real interview besides
Now,
Jake.
I'm gonna tell you right now about this accident. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I got out of prison, I was doing good. I got with this woman who like she was the administrator for a large corporation, and she was a good woman. And I was with her for 5 years. I built a home with her. She helped me start my business. I have a construction business. I'm a general contractor, so I do remodels. Back where I'm from, I did like basement finishes, stuff like that. So anyways, I had was getting ready to get married to her. It was like a month away from our marriage. I had already paid for the marriage. Like we were getting married on this yacht and everything, and like I canceled it because I didn't love the woman. And so anyways, I met this other girl in the meantime, and I get in a car accident. I hadn't drank for a while at that point, but I went out to the bar with her, and we're getting ready to go home. And I decide we tried to call an Uber. The Uber didn't show up right away, so I was like, I'm just gonna drive. And in the process, I'm drunk. I roll through a stoplight, and there's a cop right there at the intersection. So he flips on his lights, and I took off, and I was going 80, and I hit a railroad track and ramped, and kind of landed sideways. And I had a brand new lifted truck, and it just started rolling, and it caught on fire before it stopped. So By the time we stop, I get out of the truck. I'm still coherent. I get out of the truck, and she's knocked out with her seatbelt on. So I put my hood up. It was cold. This is in South Dakota. So I put my hood up. I go open the door. I burned out my fucking eyebrows, eyelashes, everything. I have scars from that shit. But I
Okay.
pulled her out. I pulled her off to the side and I said, "Hey, like I'm gonna run. Like the cops are right here. I'm gonna run." So I ran and I fucking broke my foot. I fell in the river. I called another girl actually, and I was like, "Hey, you got to take me to Nebraska." And then I had to plan that I was gonna go to Mexico. Just crazy, like I'm drunk. And I was
Okay.
a block away from that girl, and I broke my foot. And the cops were right there, and they came and they found me. Um, but yeah, that was a long time after prison, man. I ended up marrying that woman, and I'm still married to her, but we're separating now.
Yeah, I was just about to say. You said you guys are separated, but now you guys got kids, right? Two twins. You said.
Yeah, they're 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you said you moved to Florida or Arizona. I mean, you've been to Florida. You're from Nebraska, but you are living in Arizona, correct?
So
Okay.
when I got out of prison, I paroled to South Dakota.
Okay.
Soon after, I met my wife. Now we went to Florida. So I've been in Florida. Now I'm in Arizona. I've only been here a few weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now who you living with out there?
Now I'm on my own.
Okay. Oh, you just got an apartment, pretty much. Do you got work with your contractor stuff?
No, I have a house, but yeah, no, I have. Yeah,
Oh, my bad. I don't even know why. I just assumed because you just got out there, but I shouldn't have assumed. That's cool, bro. You already got a house. Then you ain't doing too bad. Shit. What you're doing? What are you doing for work right now?
I'm a contractor.
So
So remodel work.
cool. So let's jump back to what. So look, I was curious. So like, tell me what it was like in Nebraska State Penitentiary after your reception was done. Let them know what that was like. And once you got off the bus and you just had to get into motions and everything.
Man, it was a trip, honestly. Like for you, it's different because you guys had tablets, all that shit. We didn't have that.
Right.
That was not a thing,
Well, I didn't
right?
start.
Like when I went to prison, we just started to get LED TVs.
Damn, they behind.
I think that's '07.
Oh, that's why. That you guys had bubble TVs.
Yeah.
I got it. That makes sense.
But we could order from East Bay, so like you could have. I had Jordans, jeans, like all the clothes, like to wear to visits.
Yeah.
So that changed before I left because there was a lot of murders that happened while I was in there, and they got like a new warden and whatnot. But so a lot of things changed before I left. But when I went there, like when I went out in the yard, I saw people wearing normal like civilian clothes. They had dogs, like there was a dog program. So like I didn't expect that. I had a cousin there, so he greeted me. I didn't have to fight and none of that.
Good to know people. Yeah. What's up, Panda? Yeah, it's always good to know people though. Okay, go ahead. What so you meet your cousin.
Yep. So I meet my cousin. I get adjusted, whatnot. There was no crazy shit like I hear from other people in prison, like where you had a fight and all this. Like, yeah, sure, people did, but like I had people in there, so like it was pretty. So the only worst thing for me, so like I don't know anything about prison. I'm 18, right? So
Yeah.
I meet this black dude in my unit, and I start playing spades with him, right?
Yeah.
And he gives me a list, and he says, "Hey, I'm gonna get you a TV. You can't get it for a few months. I'm gonna get you this, that." And then this dude from the Loma, there's a game called Lomas. They're an Omaha-based gang. They're the rivals to the Serranos gang, a Mexican gang. Well, but they're white and Mexican, right?
Right.
So they're like, "Hey, this dude's trying to punk you out." So like, but he has AIDS. They knew he had AIDS, so they're like, "But you got to do something." And
Good.
so they gave me some gloves. I put on the gloves. I walked into his wing, and I remember, man, I walked over to the wing, and I go into his cell, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, you think I'm a punk? And
Nervousness.
and I go to swing on him, and this dude, his name was Butter. He was part of the Lomas gang, and he pushed me out of the way, and he beat the fuck out of that dude. And he said, "Hey, you're part of us now." So ever since that point, that was my first couple of days. So I became part of Lomas after that.
And then it got easier. Now I could go
I didn't
easier.
have to worry. After that, I didn't have to worry. because they're that that's an Omaha based gang. I'm in Nebraska State Pen, so like they're the biggest gang in that prison. And I don't know how your prison works, but in Nebraska we're 60% black, right? Um, so the whites and the Mexicans partner up. So
Yeah.
we have CWB, Crazy White Boys, which I know it's different for you. Our CWB is Crazy White Boys,
Yeah. Cincinnati Wild Boys, and yeah, yeah.
but for us it's Crazy White Boys in Nebraska. And then we have the Peckerwoods, the Aryan Brothers. One of my homies, his name was Billy O'Keefe. He was a Peckerwood, man. That dude was down like he was skinny, like scrawny little dude, but he was a scrapper. He beat the fuck out of the biggest black dudes. So I was cool with all those guys, and like the Lomas gang was cool with all the Aryan brothers, the Peckerwoods, and the Crazy White Boys. So
Right. Now,
the black guys are against each other usually. So like,
to piggyback off what you said, so you was gonna go in there and fight dude, but then dude pushed you out the way and did it, and they just more or less thought you had heart because at least you was gonna.
yeah, pretty much. Yep. So then they took me under their wing. So then my celly, I ended up being cool. This dude, his name was Ralphie Robles, and he was the second command of the Lomas gang. So I became really cool with him. We became cellies. The dude across from us, his name was Chino. He was the leader of the Lomas gang. So like he was in with the CEOs. So like he was getting weed in all this shit. So like
It's always
I
good.
really didn't have to worry too much.
Right, right. But you guys didn't have a lot of nice shit as far as like we got nowadays. So you was having like a real bid, like, and there probably wasn't that many cameras either, huh?
No.
I heard back in late early 2000s, middle 2000s, they only had like two cameras in the block. What's in your hand?
Oh man, like when a Chimo would show up, we would rock his ass in the fucking mob closet.
What is it?
A child molester.
Yeah,
We
I
call him Chimos.
didn't. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck yeah, man. That shit's crazy. We used to put them on a payment plan. Like, be like, hey, we won't beat your ass and we won't let nobody else beat your ass, but you owe 50 a week. And then me and all the guys get to split it up. But if they don't have it, they get their ass beat. Okay. So yeah, I know kind of what you're saying. It just depends. Different organizations will get together and do that. So like what ends up happening? You said you had 5 to 17 to do. Now how does it work in your state with that tail?
All right. So the way that works is in Nebraska. So you I got a 5 to 17. Um, you're eligible for parole after you half your bottom number. So at 2.5 years, I was eligible.
Okay.
Yeah. I just got into a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Ticket history.
Yeah.
Who decides, the jail or the judge?
Uh,
'Cause I know they'll.
Neither really. Like we have something we call kangaroo court, right?
I know.
So that's the jail, pretty much. Not the judge, the jail. Just
Okay.
like it has to do with like how many write-ups you've had, what they're for, that sort of thing.
Now, did you guys have a court within your prison, which, like, for us, ours is called R. It's called RIB. I really don't remember what it even stands for, but it's just R period I period B, and it's court. You go to court, and they'll be like, and they'll look at all the evidence and be like, okay, we find you guilty of this ticket, 30 in the hole, and the cop will literally walk you from that little room with all people. That's a committee, and they'll walk you straight to the hole. It's like a court within prison. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It found not guilty. You could call witnesses. You could call
Yeah, no, same shit, man. Yeah,
anybody.
same. Yep.
Okay, cool. So I thought that might have been what you meant about kangaroo court. You know what I mean?
No, actually, one time I killed a rabbit with a rock in prison.
For real? Why that?
I,
That
ge- I threw a rock at a rabbit and killed it. They took me to kangaroo court. They thought I was fucked up in the head.
right? Yeah, I probably would have been mad to be honest. I love animals, but what'd you do? You just was fucking stressing or something? You just wanted to do it, or did somebody dare you to do it? What was it?
Man, yeah, pretty much someone dared me to do it.
Yeah, I actually saw something similar to that about a skunk. It was a fucking albino skunk, and it lived on the yard, and some dude chased it and tried to catch it with his bare hands. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he almost got it a couple times, but it was a fucking skunk that would come out on the yard and spray because people would try to shit. Now, did you guys have the dog program?
Yeah, we had a dog program. Yep.
Had to have certain charges, shit like that. What's up?
Yeah.
Because yeah, ours you can't. There's so many reasons why they wouldn't even let me do it for STG shit. Matter of fact, how does STG work? Do you guys have that security threat group for gang shit, or what? How does that work?
No.
Tag you, like if they think you're a part of something, or if they see tattoos, if they see you clicking up, do they tag you in a federal database like how they do in a lot of states
No,
out
they do. Like, and when that happens, they try to split up everybody. So I said I'm a part of Lomas, so we were in the NSP. Like a lot of the Serenos, if they find out you're Serenos, they're going to transfer you to Tecumseh, which is another maximum security state prison
break
in
that?
Nebraska. So they try to split you up as much as they can. Yep, same concept. Yep.
Right, that makes sense. If you got 20, 30 of them between 1 or 2 blocks and they ride 10 of them out, especially the people who are making moves, they feel like they're making a difference because now they got to go somewhere new and start. But that ain't how it works because they get there. It's the same thing. Everybody knows everybody. It's the same networking. They got phones, all that. Everybody knows what's up.
Yeah.
And Panda, I don't know if you're still in here. And earlier it was just trolls in the comments. You seen? That's why I was just ignoring them when they do that. Hey, I ain't been on here in a while, bro. I need to start getting on here again. I used to get like 100 in my lives, but when you don't get on for a while, it takes you out of the algorithm. Like I said,
Yeah.
this on just our first trial run. We could do another one. We'll still do this, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have you download Zoom, I think, and for the future, anybody who wants to do this as time goes, I'm gonna have them Zoom app. I think that's what the people I've done mine with did for me.
Yeah. For sure. Hayden Gaines says hello. Hello, Hayden Gaines. No, man. Yeah, absolutely.
I what's now? So what? If you, I mean, I'm just curious, what happened between you, wife? Well, like why y'all separate? Like, what's going on? You guys just
Why are my wife and I separated right now?
yeah. I'm just curious. Unless you don't want to talk about it.
No, I don't mind talking about it. Um, oh man, that's a good question. I don't know.
Shit.
When I met my wife, she was a stripper. Okay.
Okay.
Um, oh man, that's a hard one.
Back to it if you want to. That's up to you. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable and shit. Especially if you think you're gonna piss
I
her off.
just okay. When I met my wife, all right, I had already been out of prison for let's say 7 years.
Okay.
I had built a brand like I had a good life going on. I had a business. I still have my business, but like I was with another woman at that time that I was had separated with, met my wife that I have now. Um, but like I just had a whole different lifestyle. I had built a brand new home. I was doing good with my business, and then I decided to call off. We were engaged. I was engaged with that woman that I built the house with, started my business, whatever, and it just didn't feel right. So I called it off. I meet this girl at a bar. She's a stripper. She's this. She's that, and then um and next it just went quick, man. We had kids, and I just realized, like, man, this isn't healthy. Like, this is not a healthy relationship. So
Okay.
here we are, 3 years later. We're getting divorced, but
Right. But y'all got two
we just
kids.
we just had different. We just have different hope, like dreams. Like she wants. She's a great mother. She's a great mother to my children. I don't think she's a bad person. It's just we're not good for each other.
Hey, I respect that shit, man. Especially if she feels the same and you guys are on the same page. I respect that. Me and my children, me and my woman, who is my children's mother, we've been going through this shit for almost 19 years. So I definitely know what you mean. We were just having kids and building a life together, having house, all that shit, man. It gets deep, real deep, especially because I did that time. So
Yeah,
I want to make it about you. So this is just a trial run, but like we're just doing. I want to get better at the whole asking questions and all that. So what about when you got released? Let's talk about that. So you do your time. You're thinking you're gonna do 17 years up to. You're not sure. You go after 2.5, but then you finally get released at 7 years. How does that process go, and how did it feel? What happened?
All right, so I'll tell you that first 5 or 6 years, like I didn't have good intentions, man. Like I had met people in there, like I was in there for selling drugs, so like I had planned on selling drugs when I got out. I met just more connects, but during the process, I had to go through a. If I wanted to get out within that 7 years, I had to go through a treatment program. So I had to, the last year I was in minimum security, and I did a treatment program in the prison, which was like part of the same yard, but you had to go through the back gate. So like us minimum security could come out to the max security, but max security where I was at couldn't come into minimum security. And during that time, like they started having like NFL players come talk to us. You know, we're in Nebraska, so like Husker players come talk to us. And every time we had someone come talk to us, they started they would stop me before I left and like tell me like, "Hey, you're gonna do good. Like you got this." And it started to click. Like I didn't believe it at first. I was like, "You guys don't know who I really am. Like I'm gonna get out of here. I got this bitch. She's gonna drive. We're gonna do this, that. Like I'm gonna sell so many drugs when I get out." But it started to like click, and then I got this counselor. He was super cool,
Okay.
and I changed my mindset before I got out, man. And I started a business really soon after I got out, and it went good.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
going like now. I was curious. Do you consider yourself a drug addict, alcoholic, or in any kind of, or have you never struggled with that?
I'm a drug addict. Yeah,
Done all this shit before? I know you said you're selling everything. I just didn't know if you did it too. Some
no,
people
I'm addicted to opiates, man. Yeah,
did MA program or that. You quit turkey or still in active addiction?
say that again.
I'm saying, are you still in active addiction, or have you ever did you quit? Like how some people are in the MAT program.
No, here. All right. So for 5 years when I got out, I was so completely sober. Right. I had my business. I hired this guy who was on oxy. He had oxycontins for a condition he had, and I tried, and then I gave in. I did it one time, and then it was like when he got a script again, a month later, I would do it once. I did that for like 6 months, and then it was like, all right, so like every week I'd get a couple more, and then it was like every day I'm buying his whole script, and the next thing you know, I'm in treatment again. So no, I've always been an opiate addict. That's my thing. So
Right.
like shit went downhill with back and forth. Like I've always been. That's my that's my issue.
Was the opiates, right? So you done,
Yeah.
I don't call it that from you done H.
Yep.
Yeah, I eventually got to doing all that dumb shit too, but it
I
started.
did the Betty pills. The blues.
Uh, I
So
missed
I was doing.
I missed it, so that's good. I never done it. It came while I was locked up.
Yeah.
Real shit back when I was doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're good now. You got a job now. You're at home, and you've been home for 11 years. Now, earlier you said something about a case that was something. Is it serious that you had going on, or is it like some minor shit? You think?
No, I mean, since I've been out, I've had a terroristic threat, just threatened to kill somebody. Uh,
Hold on you? Yeah, that's crazy. That's shitty.
yeah,
That's
just something at a bar, just other than that, trying to think what I've been charged with. A DUI, like a vehicular homicide with my wife now, where I rolled the vehicle and fled the scene, so they charged me with the homicide.
yeah. Explain that to me. You were saying that earlier. Let them know what you mean by that. About how she's still alive, but they gave you that. I was curious.
Yeah, so it's different state to state. So in the state of South Dakota, basically, they were able to charge me with a homicide. I had a paid lawyer, like a good lawyer, but they said if you want to keep your um, work permit and not go to jail, they want to charge you with this homicide. Since you fled from the scene, the person could have died, even though they didn't. It should have been like a manslaughter charge, but they charged me with a vehicular homicide.
Crazy. I've never heard of no shit like that. Like
So
earlier,
when I was, so I told you I was in Florida after, right? And when I got another DUI there, and they were like, "Damn, you killed somebody," and I'm like, "No, I didn't kill anybody. That's my wife."
yeah, it's a weird conversation, ain't it?
Yeah.
Like it would be. Yeah, that's wild. Now you plan on free? yourself getting, back in the joint, right? I know I can't. Me, you know what I mean? Me personally, I'm done with that shit.
No, same here, man. Yeah.
Now you was talking about earlier. We were, talking about this right here, doing this. Uh, I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna tag your information. Let people know how to find you. What would be your idea of what you want to do if you grow a channel? Like, what are you? I know we talked about how we don't want to revolve our whole lives around prison. Neither one of us. So, what do you feel like would be? What do they call it? Your niche, like your category. Can you think of something that you would like? If you created a YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook account to post videos every day about that one category. What do you think it would be?
I want to basically show people like
They,
I came from a pretty rough background, and life can be better for you. I've had a business for 11 years. I'm successful. I'll
right.
show people around my home. Um, hold on a second.
I seen you had a big TV, nice TV. So more or less, you want to be you.
I want people to understand that you can come from anything, man. Like I had nothing growing up. I was raised by my grandparents. My mother put me up for adoption when I was a little kid, but now I came from prison to owning a business to having my own home
Yeah,
to you can have anything. And
uh,
that's what I want to show people. And I that's important to me because I
definitely.
didn't believe it when I was in prison.
Right, that's sweet, right there. For hey, you got that telescope. You can go out. What that's you go out and look at the stars and shit.
Yep.
All that astrology, What else?
Astrology.
Mm. What's astronomy? Is that zodiac stuff?
Yep.
Like similar, but hey, yeah, that stuff's interesting to me, man. Like I still do it. Matter of fact, they're talking about there's supposed to be a pink moon tonight. I don't
No,
know.
tonight's a full moon. Hey, check this. I'm gonna show you guys.
I seen
If
it.
anybody's still watching, we got a full moon. It's bright. It's almost like sunlight. I got a mountain in my backyard.
You're 3 hours behind me though, so it's 11:30 where I'm at.
Oh, it's a little cloudy tonight for me. It's usually not cloudy here either.
You see it though. You got a cloud.
You can hardly see it, man. Last night it was bright.
Hey, so Eric, what's Arizona like, man? I'm from Northeast Ohio, Midwest. It ain't.
Man, it's beautiful.
It's the desert, right?
It's the desert, but it's also more than just a desert. Like,
Like a suburban area where you're at.
yeah, I'm in a place called Peoria,
Yeah, that's cool. I've
so it's like a suburban area. Yeah.
seen a lot of shit where they literally built just nice homes in suburban areas in the desert for the last 50 years, and it just keeps growing further and further. You know what I mean? Out
Yeah.
where it's all one desert.
Mm-hmm. It pretty much is. So, like, before I came here, the best thing I had to compare it to is Vegas. And I'd come to Vegas, it'd be like 120 degrees, and I'd fly back to Florida, and then people would complain here, but it's like when you go to 120 degrees here in the desert and go back to Florida where it's 98 degrees with the humidity, it's worse in Florida. So like the heat it's just dry heat. There's no humidity here. It's just dry heat.
Right, right. I get that. See, I ain't. My pops and my little brother went out there for concrete jobs, but I ain't never. I didn't go with them. I've only been to Alabama, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Other than that, I really ain't been nowhere other than Ohio. Hey, you play video games?
Yeah.
Twitch,
Huh?
Twitch, or even just streaming is a good way to get people to know who you are, or like get a following going. Uh, so now, what all platforms do you use on social media?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Or not, or at all?
Huh?
It, TikTok at all?
No, I don't use TikTok. I have TikTok. I just don't use it.
Mm.
I'm not opposed to it. I just never have.
I was only saying because a lot of people will start a TikTok and not even realize how easy it is to go viral. Like for real.
No, I know TikTok is the easiest way to go viral. I just never got into it.
Right, right. Because I'm telling you, you might post a video you don't even think's that big a deal. For some reason, you'll wake up 1,000 views the next day. That shit happens.
Right.
Huh. I was just throwing that out there so you know. I'm gonna tag information, but So you're gonna go by your name. Your name on Facebook is Calvin Steinmark, and
Yep.
then say your other stuff. Go ahead, like what each one is. Maybe you got some people that'll follow you.
No, everything's at Calvin Steinmark for
Okay.
now.
Each one: YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yep.
You got like Snapchat or anything?
I have Snapchat.
No. I was just wondering. I'm gonna tag you in it, and then also I'm gonna do Facebook. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get a different platform. It's probably gonna be Zoom, and we're gonna do this again. This is like a for a trial run. I wanted to see how this felt to interview. I've only interviewed Jacob Gentry, and it came from that because someone did something good for me. So I wanted to try something good. I had I had Joe Guerrero from After Prison Show, and then I had Chad Marks from Blood on TV. Both brought me on their channels, and it helped me on my social media thing. So I wanted to try to help other people. So it was that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do this again. I'm gonna we could close this with this. Uh
I mean, we haven't gotten to even to the prison stories.
yeah, I know, but it's looking like we could redo it. We can even do another one, a part two. But I feel like we should restart this either way. Is what I'm saying that. I was about to call you. I was gonna do that and call you because I feel like we should restart this because sometimes when you do a live, like if it ain't at that exact good time and people come in and go back out, it almost tells the algorithm, bro. It's like I want to see what's done. I got to screen record this and actually screen record this, but it should tell us our audio. Earlier, I did it on Messenger and it wasn't working. So like I'm doing this ghetto right now, bro. I'm trying to figure out
Right.
this. If we just did this for nothing, like if I screen record it and it still ain't got audio, then we only will have this on YouTube.
Yep.
But that's why I'm saying that. I'm gonna on you anyway. So I'm gonna go grab a cigarette, smoke a cigarette, to see what my kids are doing. But as I'm doing that, I'm gonna fuck with this and call.
All right.
So yeah, anything else you want to say? We'll do it again, and I'm gonna figure this out. Might have you down. All right,
All right.
all right, man. So yeah, everybody. Yeah, I don't even know if anybody's still in here now, but we'll do this again. We'll actually make a part one. This will be like intro to it. If you want to run back through everything else, correct time or people in it, and they won't even. It'll be like we really are doing a story because it'll be like you got to do a precursor to know what you do and don't want to talk. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
man.
I'm down.
Talk to you in a little bit. All right,
All right, buddy.
man.